Coach, first practice in the rain. How'd it go?
It was good. You got to take advantage of it when you got the best weather in college football. You don't get many these days, and we've actually, obviously, as we all know, we've had more than normal. I'm gonna tell Mike and President Folt, you guys told me the weather's gonna be a hell of a lot better than this. So, but no, it's been good. We've actually, even in February and early March, rescheduled some walkthroughs that we had the days that it did rain so that we could get out in it. Because you just don't get to practice in the elements much. So the guys know me. I'm always excited when it's going to be windy or rain or anything that's just a little bit of a change up. So no, good work. It's great ball handling, great for footing. It's just the game is a little bit different when you get in those conditions, and having to adjust is good for every position on the field.
How would you say Alex Grinch has adjusted to kind of changes or like moving into this season with the defense, just mindset-wise for him? What have you seen from him?
I think we're just as a whole. I mean, we're adapting. I mean, and it's especially defensively. I mean, there's a lot of different faces out there, so I think you gotta. On one hand, you have some skill sets of guys that you've seen, which is our returners. You've got a lot of new players that are exciting, and we feel like going to make a really strong impact. And so we're trying to do what we can to kind of mold those two together and create the type of defense that we feel like that we can have. And so no, I've been very pleased with the progress defensively this offseason. I think the group as a whole, you've really seen it. I see our guys really kind of bonding together. I think they really sense, after going through some of what we put these guys through in the off season, even early enough here in spring ball, I think they sense that that's got a chance to be a really good group and has a chance to be a really strong part of this football team. And a lot of times adversity or challenges like that can really pull people together in ways that sometimes success has a hard time of doing. And so I think coaches have done a really nice job. We've made some adjustments with the roster. We've got a great plan. I think we've executed well up to this point, and I can tell you the practices up to this point have been completely back and forth. Probably overall won a little bit more by the defense, but it's been back and forth and extremely competitive.
How do you feel about size, speed, athleticism-wise up front defensively as opposed to a year ago?
Better. I mean, there's more good players up front. I mean, there's some of that is some of the returners that have come back have had to change their bodies. Have had to a few guys trimming up, a few guys putting on mass. Most of them all putting on strength and adding strength, and so that's been good. And then obviously with some of the guys we brought in, we brought in some good players up front. I mean, there's no question about it, and got a few more coming. So you can just see, I think there's more competition. There's less of a gap between, what was good for us last year on the front, and then the gap in between the next level was too big, right? And so the gap's much smaller. There's a lot more competition. There's a lot more talent. I think that this group has shown, I think, that an opportunity to be more difficult for offenses to block than our group last year. Just like I said, the pieces are in place, and like I said, coaches have done a good job getting them in the right spot here early.
Specifically, Anthony Lucas up front. What does he bring? What do you see from him?
He's intriguing. Yeah, he's exciting. He's a unique athlete for his size. There's just not many body types like that walking around, and to have the athleticism behind it's been great. And he's done a really nice job acclimating himself to the team, getting a chance to these transfers, especially like a young transfer like that. I mean, he's been at two places in a relatively short amount of time, and this is a big adjustment. And I give him a lot of credit. He's handled it well. He's handled just kind of the overall transition. His work ethic's been great. He's really bought into everything that we're doing, and I think he sensed an opportunity, and he certainly, I'm glad he's on our team. I'll put it that way.
What was the vetting process like with him after the way he ended his tenure at
Pretty similar to everybody else. I mean, it moves quickly in this day and age, but you got to be thorough. And I think luckily for us, we obviously we have some staff members that have been there, which was helpful, and we have some guys on our staff that were involved in recruiting him. Know obviously a lot of people in that area, so there were a lot of different connections, and so we felt good early on about the kind of guy that we were bringing in here, the kind of player. Up to this point, everything he showed us has backed that up.
What stood out about Dorian Singer so far, and seeing him now, are you surprised that he was initially a walk-on?
Yeah, it's it kind of reminds me of another walk-on that I had at East Carolina, Justin Hardy, who when he left was the all-time leading receiver in college football history, and in that he catches everything, kind of like Justin did, and tremendous ball skills. Just some catches that kind of make you go, wow. It's kind of comes a point where you're a little surprised if he doesn't come down with it, no matter how tough it looks. He just kind of finds a way. So he's acclimated well. He's learned the offense. He's got some experience, obviously, playing, and so we've been able to move him around a little bit and work him at some different spots. But I know our quarterbacks are gaining trust in him fast because he's so reliable.
You
Do one more.
mentioned wanting to add on the front sides of both the offense and the defense. Are there other positions that you guys are still looking to add, and do you have maybe a ballpark number of how many more guys you're looking to bring onto the roster?
That's hard to say, just because there'll be more movement on the roster. I mean, that's you can't always predict exactly how many more guys are going to leave. You don't have control on other guys getting in the portal, so some of that's going to depend on what's there and how many upgrades that we think are available. But yeah, I mean, we still got a couple of scholarships open that we're going to be in the market for a couple of positions. We'll see how it plays out. Like I said, it's probably a little too early to say right now. You never know when like what happened with Jordan last year, when a great player like that jumps in, you got to look at him regardless of position. And I do think there's going to be, some guys that if they do get in are going to be pretty excited about coming and playing on this team and at this place, like we've seen over here the last 2 years. So we'll keep an open mind. If a guy can come in and help us, we've got some room, and I would expect I think it'll be more than one. I mean, I think there'll be multiple opportunities here once spring ends. If they need a few more, Katie, I got a couple minutes. Yeah.
Miller throwing a pro day today. I'm just curious, where do you see his development right now?
Really well. He last year was great for Miller. I mean, you guys didn't get to see much of him, and I wish we could have got him in a few more games. We weren't able to pull away in a few that we had opportunities for, but he got so many reps. And then I'll tell you, the time that was super helpful for him was the early part of the bowl practice when Caleb wasn't able to practice, because he got a ton of reps in there. And so I think it's his experience, his confidence has grown. We've challenged him some physically to make some of the improvements. And he's had a really nice off season. He's probably in the best shape of his life right now. And he's throwing the ball well. He's playing very confident. So it's fun to see a guy's confidence like that really take off, because you start to see their best ball, and now you combine that with some of the jumps physically, and so been really proud of the way he's progressed.
How is it that Jameel Muhammad ended up on your radar?
Yeah, he got in the portal. We had a couple of coaches in the business that had coached against him that passed the name and just told us, hey, I'll take a look at this guy. We thought he's pretty good, and when we popped on the tape, it was pretty noticeable. Like, just you saw a playmaking ability and an explosion that jumped off the tape, and then when we found out more about him and the fact that it's not like he had played that position all of his life, it's pretty new to him. The fact he was doing that with the background that he had made it even more impressive. And then we had him up, and he's one of those guys, kind of you first meeting him and his family, just super impressive. Just like you could tell he was our kind of guy, like pretty quick. So yeah, it just came together quickly, and he loved it, and it's been a great fit. He's had a really nice start to spring. Made a lot of plays.
Has there been enough practice sets to identify guys who really took a leap forward from December to now?
A little tough just because we broke, for spring break, so you lost a little bit of the flow there. I don't know. I want to see a few more, honestly. I want to see a few more. There's a few that are probably on the tip of my tongue and probably deserve to say, but we're 2 padded practices in. But I will say this, that, and I know I said it kind of last time on the Zoom, that you could tell the difference of some of these guys having true like off season. It's some of these bodies are headed the way that they need to head to look the way that a roster at USC ought to look like.
What are your early thoughts on Marshawn Lloyd and what he brings to the running back group?
I like him. He's really tough. He's got a compact, he's got a low center of gravity, but there's a lot of momentum when he's running. It's that combination of kind of short, stocky, and very explosive is good. His explosiveness is very, very impressive. He's a good receiver. Another guy's just a great kid, really fit in well with the program and the culture. So I think he'll add a level of explosion in our room that will be an upgrade certainly there. And it'll be a pretty nice battle in that room. There's some good players in there right now. All good? All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate